push up to about 15 barges at one time. We'll come and see how many this guy has. It looks like he has about 12, and there's the tug pushing it. When they get to the lock in the dam, they have to put him in the lock. Then they fill up the, if they're going downstream, they let the water out, and that lowers them down about 9 to 10 feet, and they push them out the other end. If they have several of the barges, they might have to go through 2 or 3 times. The river that we're running beside today is 2,552 miles long. It's one of the longest. It's the 4th largest and longest river in the world. It runs from Minnesota all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. As you look across the river, that's Wisconsin. We're still in Minnesota on this side of the river. And when we get down here, just before we enter into La Crosse, we'll cross the river into Wisconsin. Yeah, the question was, where does the coal come from? Most of the coal, here's another coal barge on our left. Most of the coal comes from the Powder River Basin out in Wyoming. And it comes by train to Minneapolis-St. Paul. It gets loaded on the barges. The barges oftentimes push that coal all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico, where it gets loaded on ships. It goes to foreign countries. The reason that they like the coal from the Powder River Basin, it is very low in sulfur, and when you burn it, it does not produce acid rain like a lot of the coal from the eastern United States does. Almost all of the coal-fired power plants in the United States burn Powder River Basin coal for that low sulfur content. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has responsibility for the navigation on the river, and they contract out the private vendors who do the dredging. Quite different from the brown pelicans that we find on both coasts of the United States. They're a non-diving pelican. They swim and they just herd the fish to the middle of the flock and then eat them from the surface. Left turn. If you look out the left side of the train, you'll be able to see the engine as we go around the big curve. This big curve is going to take us right onto the bridge crossing the Mississippi River. And the bridge we're going to go across is called the swing bridge. When the trains aren't using it, it turns 90 degrees, and you'll be able to see the pilings that it lines up on. And that lets the barge traffic through. And this is the main channel of the Mississippi. You can, in both sides, and you can see the big swing bridge, the pilings that will line up on when we're not on it. A lot of pretty boat traffic down there on the right side. And you're looking right into downtown, La Crosse. And now, folks, welcome to Wisconsin. We're still on an island, and we're going to go through across 2 more back channels of the Mississippi River. This is one of the first back channels.
See you guys. Now you see each other.
This is the second back channel, and you can see a great blue heron off on the right standing on that little mound. We're now on French Island. French Island is part of the city of La Crosse. It's very large. In fact, just off to the left is the airport. Off on the left side.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, our next scheduled station stop is La Crosse. La Crosse is our next scheduled station stop. Now arriving at La Crosse. If you are the train at La Crosse, please take a moment, gather your personal belongings, and come down to the lower level of the car you are seated in. Once again, La Crosse in just a few minutes.
That's the Julia Ann Swain steamboat right on her left. And unfortunately,
Coach
the economy.
if you would please put the PA on day. Switch PA switches on day, please. Thank you.
Unfortunately, the economy beached it, and we're now crossing the La Crosse River. The La Crosse River originates up in central Wisconsin, drains down and empties into the Mississippi. And it became a fur trading center. The Indians would trap, and they would buy the furs from the Indians, take them down the Mississippi River to St. Louis and places like that, which were a little bit more built up, and sell the furs, which mostly were resold in Europe.